What is going on, everybody? It is episode 534 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Happy Thursday, and you know what that means. Phil is here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains, and The Left Lane is for Crime.
The left lane is definitely for crime.
That's not a band or anything. I'm just telling you about the left lane on the road. That's for crime.
It's also relevant here, guys, because we're going to be talking a little bit about a black metal band today as well. so Phil's expertise will matter in this discussion. It's going to be important. So
I almost swore in the first 15 seconds there, but I'll wait. I got a great name for it.
Can't do it. Can't swear in the first 15 seconds. So guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, but before we get started, would you please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here already. We are past 96,000 subscribers. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. Yep. So, do that. Share these videos with your friends. The more people you share the videos with, hopefully that means more people will come in here and hang out and watch the show and share the videos with their friends. It's fantastic. Also, remember, all Super Chats, $20 and over, we will interrupt that discussion. We will read those Super Chats right then and there, and then we will get right back on topic as soon as we're done. It's going to be great. So today we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Number one is going to be the fact that just yesterday, so these pictures are actually a couple of days old, but there was a huge kerfuffle on the internet yesterday because Taylor Swift AI images have been leaked, and they are very, very spicy indeed. So spicy, in fact, that we cannot show them.
They're not safe for work unless you are a podcaster for work.
So, and even then, you may not want to watch it on the company, look at it on the company Wi-Fi. No. That's all I'm saying. So we're going to be talking about this because the ranks seem to be closing ranks around her, and given the fact that we just talked about Xochitl Gomez's own case of something similar, it's interesting to see what it is it takes to make the media care about a story like this. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about Skibidi Toilet. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. It's okay. Most of Gen Z doesn't even know what the hell Skibidi Toilet is. It's the first meme, the first creation that Gen Alpha understands, but Gen Z doesn't seem to really get. And they're under investigation by Russian police because they're corrupting the youths. So we're going to talk about that.
I'm so excited to see Phil's organic reaction to Skibidi Toilet.
It's going to be great.
I'm ready.
So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about an ex-Disney actor named Dan Benson, who was not invited back to the reboot of Wizards of Waverly Place. I never watched this. It was way after my time.
I did watch
Mary
Wizards of Waverly Place. I actually wasn't allowed to.
I was going to say, are you allowed to watch stuff with wizards back then?
It was iffy, but like when the parents weren't around, I was watching Wizards of Waverly Place. But technically, they were promoting witchcraft to children.
Well, Dan Benson was not invited back because Dan Benson is now a pornographic actor. So they were like,
he's kind of clout chasing off of this, right?
A little bit. So we're gonna get into that. We're also gonna talk about this actress named Sarah Snook. Okay, guys, This is barely a story, but it rubbed me the wrong way. Really bad. Like, this story's really
grinds your gears.
It does. Actors are annoying, and they need to grow up, and they need to learn to have thicker skin. They're stupid, they're dumb, and they're immature, and they don't know how to handle any type of criticism, or not even criticism, like negative interactions with people.
I mean, it's really not actors in general. It's the actresses.
Yes.
And they've been consistently, coming out and making headlines saying, "I'm not going to name who this was."
But they said this awful thing to me.
This powerful person in the industry really was unkind to me.
And she got yelled at for eating chocolate cake. She's
not allowed to be fat and eat chocolate cake in peace.
She looks like a mixture of mashed potatoes and cottage cheese anyways. So
wow.
We'll get into it. We're going to talk about that. We got a bunch of other stuff. So if you guys are ready, we will just go ahead and get right into it. Mary, are you
I'm ready.
Phil?
Let's go!
First things first, I want to make a quick announcement before we get started. It's not super big news, but they are making a sequel to The Accountant, which came out in 2016, and I had just seen this movie for the first time this year. I completely missed this one when it came out. It's about a savant accountant who is also a hitman, and he's uncooks the books for this company, and he gets embroiled in this whole thing, this money laundering scheme. It's got him, it's got Ben Affleck, it's got John Bernthal, J.K. Simmons, a lot of really good actors. I had a lot of fun with the movie. I wouldn't say it needed a sequel, at all, but if
almost no movies need sequels.
Yeah.
Actually, zero movies need sequels.
Very, very rarely.
But this is a weird amount of time between them as well.
8 years? Yeah, 8 years is a long time between 1 and 2, especially since Affleck is like he's married to J-Lo now. He's doing hard living. Like, he looks mad and sad all the time. Like, maybe that'll help. I mean, he kind of plays like, because his character is he's
gonna channel
basically
his misery into the character.
His character has Asperger's basically, so he doesn't take social cues well.
Okay.
It'll work, but he's gonna have to work to look more stoic and less sad.
Yeah.
He can't look sad the whole time.
Who would you say is better at acting, Jennifer Lopez or
Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Ben Affleck is the far superior actor.
Not the better dancer.
Jennifer Lopez gets disqualified for making that movie The Mother last year, just on principle. Yeah. It was so bad. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. I'll go ahead and watch it, even if it ends up. It better come to theaters, though. It better not be one of those things that ends up at streaming.
There's no way.
Because it's stupid if it starts in theaters and then the sequel goes to streaming. That would be dumb.
Most things are dumb.
Yeah. All right. Whoopi Goldberg, once in a blue moon, something happens that just shocks you. And in this case, it's Whoopi Goldberg having a not awful take.
She had a mic drop moment.
I tend to believe that Whoopi Goldberg is really at her worst when she's talking about Trump or racial issues. So on other things, she's just kind of a boomer older person who's like, the kids today don't want to work. And Gen Z, But in this case, she said that Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig were not snubbed by the Oscars. She says there are no snubs. Not everybody gets a prize. She is sounding like, next thing you know, she's going to be like, oh, this is because of the participation trophy era.
She said there are no snubs. That's what you have to keep in mind. Not everybody gets a prize, and it's subjective. Movies are subjective. The movies you love may not be loved by the people who are voting.
Yep.
So she's just speaking common sense to these women whose biggest problem, whose biggest civil rights struggle is that their favorite actress isn't getting an award at the Oscars.
It is a rough life to live.
The absolute state of feminism.
Yep.
You know, there are women across the globe that are facing actual problems, and feminism has never paid attention to that.
This is why
part of me thinks those women actually have fewer problems than the women that believe feminism is a good idea.
Fewer mental problems, that's for sure.
This is why I believe that Shoe on Head was right yesterday when she said this was 9/11 for feminists.
It was.
Yeah, it was basically. But
Hillary Clinton weighing in was just beyond parody. Like, I'm done with these people.
The only legitimate complaint feminists have had for like the past 20 years is what dudes shouldn't be in our bathroom. That's the only
But they're not actually
complaint.
making those complaints.
Feminists? TERFs are.
The radical
but that's a
feminists.
subsect. That's a subcategory of feminists.
Yeah.
I didn't say they made a lot of good arguments. I just said they're the one they have.
Yeah. This is the response that somebody had. So it says Barbie earned a total of 8 nominations, including Best Picture. Gerwig is a nominee for screenwriting, and so is Robbie as one of the film's producers. Yet shutting Gerwig out of Best Director and Robbie out of Best Actress has resulted in backlash against the Academy.
Do we need a new category that's Best Female Director and Best Male Director?
They will never. I mean, they
have actor and actress.
They want to get rid of that. They want it to just be actor.
Oh.
They don't even want to have actress because actresses find the label of actress to be demeaning.
Well, then no men are going to get nominated for anything.
Then it's only misogyny forever after that. If you get nominated as a male, it's because you have a penis.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So this is what Sarah Haynes asked her on The View. It says, the message of all of this is not lost on me, but one question I have, and maybe Whoopi is the only one that can answer this, when does it become a snub? She asked. She goes, I know the film, I know the greatness and the money, but that assumes someone else shouldn't be in there. Yeah, that's the question. So the real issue is like, okay, who would you remove? Mm-hmm. Like, right? Unless the feminists got their way, they just keep adding places. Like they wouldn't just stop it at 5 or 6. They'd be like, well, maybe there was 10 great movies last year, so we got to have 10 people that are up for the award.
Do you think that Margot Robbie or Greta Gerwig, either of them, feel personally offended by this? Or is it just a bunch of people on the internet?
It's just people on the internet. And Kino Corner pointed out yesterday, goes, Greta Gerwig has handled this perfectly fine. She's been a class act the whole time. She hasn't made any comments about any of this stuff. So maybe the people who are like angry on her behalf should take her lead.
Yeah, she's not even smart enough to come up with feminist rhetoric to explain why the Barbie movie was feminist.
Yeah.
She's not that great at her job in that sense.
We got a $20 one here from a Magic Monkey. says, Phil, when are you releasing the song Very Failed Musician so we can make it go platinum and tell Hassan to punt sand?
I don't think that we're actually going to put out a song called Very Failed Musician, but we will have new music hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months. I'm looking for April 1st. By April 1st, I want to have something out. So right now we're waiting on getting it mixed and then the master and then... but we're actually getting our assets together and stuff, so it's coming together.
Are you going to sell failed musician merch?
You should do that.
I should do it.
It's a missed opportunity if you're not.
There's an additional question. He also asks, what would you say is the band's favorite song to perform?
I don't know that there's one song that the entire band likes to perform. Personally, I like whatever the crowd is going to respond to is what's most fun to perform. Like, because for me, the thing that's really awesome about being in a band is playing shows. That's why I started. It wasn't because I wanted to be. Some people want to be in the studio. Some people enjoy the tour. Some people enjoy. There's any number of different aspects that really people love. Shows? For me, it's being on stage and playing shows and having people sing along. That was the thing I wanted. I used to go to hardcore shows and kids would be singing along to the bands and stuff, and it's like you get like 500 kids in a club all singing along with the singer holding the microphone out for the whole crowd to be singing along. That was the thing that impacted me, and I wanted to be that guy that was holding the mic out while the whole crowd was singing along. So
yeah. We got a $20 one here from Mikey. Says, first world syndrome is real. There's plenty of causes that are real out there in the world, but the most tolerant country in the modern world is bad. Blah. See, this is why I always say bring back the term first world problems. It was the great unifier in our culture. We
100%.
Were all born very lucky to live here.
Tolerance is our weakness.
Philip Reed says, we need to stop focusing on women's rights and start focusing on women's wrongs. For example, cooties.
I need to fix it, he said.
Absolutely. 100%.
Ladies, it's all your fault.
Women have cooties and they don't belong in Star Wars.
There you go. But Whoopi went on. She says, everyone doesn't win and you don't get everything you want. There are no snubs. That's why you have to keep in mind not everybody gets a prize and it is subjective. All of this is very common sense.
Well, she's saying this because she's the boomer on the table, right?
Yep. Yeah. So... take that. If you had Whoopi
she was telling
Goldberg,
Gen Z, get a job.
If you had, it's good because tomorrow I want to talk about poly work.
Yeah,
it's this new trend where Gen Z has just learned that you can have more than one job at a time, which other generations have known for a very, very long time. But they have to give it a name, so they call it poly work.
That's a trend that I've noticed that really annoys me.
The renaming of stuff.
Yeah, like things that exist, like. The whole like what's the one? What was
the walking one?
Hot girl walking?
No, the one it's like where you just walk without your phone. You don't take your phone with you.
Silent walks?
Silent walking.
Yeah.
Quiet quitting's annoying.
Quiet quitting.
Silent walking, that's already annoying. That's the first time I've heard it. And then like like the sexuality where you have to like actually like the person before you have sex with them or whatever.
Demisexual.
That is the biggest. That is the most.
Which one?
Advertising normal sexuality.
Yes.
That is so annoying. And there was something that I saw just the other day, like last night or whatever. I think we were talking about it on IRL. About or maybe I just tweeted about it. Either way. More people identify. Gen Z has more people that identify as LGBT than identify as Republican. And what that actually means is people are talking about it like demisexual and they're identifying as LGBT by being a normal person. It's just that I want to hang out with this group. And Republican has never been more toxic, right? Like there's been 20 years of Democrats saying Republicans are Nazis, for shoving it down your throat. So that's all it is emblematic of that stuff.
Yep.
Anyways.
$20 one from Disco Jensen says, let them eat cake. Taylor Swift. There you go. All right.
She's the Marie Antoinette of our generation.
Sofia Vergara is saying that her accent is causing her to lose roles. She's saying she can't play scientists because of her accent.
Yes. She said, I'm always looking for characters because there's not much I can play with this stupid accent. I can't play a scientist or be in Schindler's List. My acting jobs are kind of limited.
You can, yeah, but the thing about like actors like put on accents all the time. Sofia, I love you, sweetheart, but come on. All you got to do is up your acting ability to be able to act like you don't have that accent.
No, yeah, there are Americans who put on foreign accents for movies all the time.
And
why
people
can't
that
she
have
train
more- it's far more
herself to
common
have an
for-
American accent?
And British people do it too.
Half of the actors working in Hollywood today are British
Yeah.
and New Zealand and Australian actors.
They seem to
all of
do
whom-
it just fine.
I've been rewatching Chuck, and in Chuck, the character of Sarah is played by Yvonne Strahovski, and she has on several occasions in the show she puts on like an Australian accent, which is just her actual accent. The other example that I really like is there's an actress named Marsha Thomason who's British and had to do an episode of a show where she puts on a British accent because she's playing an American, and she does the British accent badly, even though it's her actual accent. So she has to actually like purposely screw it up to make it sound like
That
she's
takes
not
skill.
that good at it.
Yeah.
It's like
I
watching
think-
actors have to pretend to act badly. I like that.
The reason that Sofia Vergara can't play a scientist is because she's hot. It's not because she has an accent.
There are plenty of hot scientists in movies.
No, they're not.
There are plenty of hot scientists in movies.
In movies.
I didn't say in real life. I said in movies.
Fair enough.
It just takes you out of the story a little bit. You know?
I mean,
Well, if you have a normal-looking person surrounded
Yeah.
by movie stars, they do look like a thumb. Look at Danny DeVito, right? Like he always looks like a troll around everybody else that he's
But he
in.
doesn't look normal. He looks ugly.
Yeah, but I mean,
You have to be remarkably ugly or remarkably beautiful.
But yeah, but
The best example-
Danny DeVito looks like the average Walmart person, like the average.
he's even shorter than the average.
well, he's
the best example is in the James Bond movie The World Is Not Enough. Denise Richards plays the world's hottest nuclear physicist. You're watching it and you're like, first of all, her name is Christmas in the movie, which also makes no sense. So she's a nuclear physicist who looks like a supermodel.
She is distractingly attractive.
Yes. So you're watching it and you're like, yeah, it's a James Bond movie, so I buy it. But other than that, not really. You know?
Yeah.
There are people that are distractively attractive, and if you put them in any role other than something where like their attractiveness is part of the role,
Right.
you're just like, why are you a cop?
I
You know?
love that.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah, like Megan Fox couldn't play a scientist.
oh God,
No.
no.
She
No one would buy it.
She played a journalist in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. She
That's
played
like
that either.
passable. Like I could see that maybe.
She was also playing opposite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
But a woman in STEM? No.
They love that too. They love to put TV, like that's a big push on television, is to do things with women in STEM.
Yes, and they're always smarter than all the men in the room, and they see the answer, and all the men are just clouded by their toxic masculinity.
There was this really fun show called The Librarians. It was based off the short film series on TBS called The Librarian, starring Noah Weil. And they have this episode where this girl character, first of all, she's in the show, she has like a brain tumor that gives her basically like white girl magic instead. It's like white girl math magic. She's really good at math and science. And that's the whole character. It's the meme now, like loving the science, but this is back in like 2018. And there's this episode where they have to go to a STEM fair and she's like really, really excited, and I physically died of cringe when I watched it. It was really, really bad. But yes, you're not really gonna buy Sofia Vergara as much of a scientist.
Well, now someone has to offer her
They
a
should.
scientist role because she
should.
said that.
They should absolutely do that. Oh yes, Olivia Munn was a scientist in the Predator remake, the one that I liked and nobody else liked. She is also a very attractive scientist in that. Also one of the few roles
She's
where you get to
wonderful.
see Sterling K. Brown play like a bad guy, and he's chewing gum the whole time and acting like a dick. It's awesome. The movie's not good, but I like it. So what can you do? And right now she's on Griselda, where she plays the drug kingpin.
Yeah, a female drug lord based on a true story, apparently.
Maybe in the chat, maybe people can give us, because like I feel like if I was better at my job, I'd be able to give you more examples of hot scientists in movies. Maybe you guys can, in the comments, let me know some more examples of hot female scientists in movies.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Phil, what do you think about Johnny Marr saying that Trump can't use Smith songs for... No?
I think it's exhausting.
Isn't it?
This
happens to him every time he tries to use a song.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Trump campaign. I personally think that the Trump campaign is welcome to use any All That Remain song they want. I don't care. It's tiring. I mean, I know that we have never been a more signaling society. Like it has never been more important to, you know, express your good politics or whatever. Go ahead. I saw that.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a $20 one. But it's tiresome. It's tiresome. You don't have to like Donald Trump, but I don't know. I guess I don't know. Whatever.
He responded to this tweet that said, "You hear the Smiths more often than you'd think at 2024 Trump rallies." And he quote tweeted and said, "Ah, right, okay. I never in a million years would have thought this would come to pass. Consider this shit shut down right now."
Can he do that?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. Because the thing is, like, when you sell a song or when you write a song and you put it out there, like, you don't have any control over who uses it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if there might be something about rebroadcasting of it.
Yeah.
There might be some kind of laws about that. I don't know. But that's part of where I'm at. It's like, if someone is using your song for something, that is not an endorsement of the person. Like, if someone uses an All That Remains song for something and I don't know about it or I find out about it after the fact, it's not like I've endorsed whatever they're saying, you know?
This is what the first thought that came to my mind was, this is what right-wing artists should start aspiring to do. Start aspiring to be so good that left-wing politicians want to use your music.
Well, I mean,
because they have a stranglehold on the culture.
Yeah, unlikely though.
I'm just saying, I would be cool. And like, but the thing is, then they'd be principled, be like, no, I'll let them use it because freedom. Like, I
wonder who is responsible for choosing the music that plays at Trump rallies.
I mean, didn't he have that, like, wasn't there that video of him, like, making a playlist on his iPad or something like that?
I thought that was edited, but maybe Trump is handpicking the songs. That would be a cute story. And Libby responded and said, "Don't hate the people who love your music and love to share it. There's a lot of us out here who love your songs who might not agree with politically. Art is bigger than politics."
It should be.
Well said, but it's not these days.
People are listing many famous or like hot actresses. So yes, Olivia Wilde as Dr. Hadley in as 13 in House. Also Odette Annabelle in that show as well, or Jennifer Morrison. All hot doctors in that show. I guess scientists too, but hot doctors. Practicing physicians.
I mean, the days of like hot people being on TV and in movies are
going away.
They're gradually disappearing.
The days of hot people are going away because
in general, yeah.
Everyone wants to eat everything.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Phil, I need to know what your thoughts on this, because you tweeted about this. So this is a band named Martyrdom, not one I'd ever heard of, which is why I asked you, is this
and
band
I've not heard
bigger?
Their music either.
Okay, so they apologized because they used a severed pig's head as a prop during a live show.
Yes.
Embarrassing.
And they posted a Notes app apology.
Oh, so embarrassing.
Hi, everyone. We just want to start off by saying we're incredibly sorry to anyone we offended with our actions and gimmicks on stage. We're a black metal band, and as part of it, we try to add a little bit of imagery and shock value to our set. Unfortunately, our act has gotten carried away and way out of hand, offending many and harming some. We want to apologize to any vegans, Muslims, or other minority groups we may have offended, and to anyone who was harmed by our act.
A black metal band is apologizing to a religious group.
I think what this speaks now is we've entered a realm
Bitch metal.
We've entered a realm now that is so surface level that they don't even hold the core values of what their genre is.
Yeah, I mean, everything is a fake reproduction.
Yeah.
Nothing is authentic. And there's a good argument to be made that most people don't want authentic.
You think so?
I think that nobody's going to say it.
Illusion of
no one's ever going to admit it, right? Like, nobody's ever going to, like, at least in our culture here today, they're not going to admit it.
Thank you.
Why do you think that is?
What?
Why do you think that is that you think they don't want it?
They won't admit it?
Yeah. No, why do you think it is that they don't actually want authentic?
Just the way that I think it's in I think it's the behavior that we see that people they don't want it. So.
I feel like when somebody's authentic, you run the risk. They run the risk of having beliefs you disagree with. Like maybe you like some aspect of it, but other aspects you don't.
Well,
whereas an inauthentic person can tailor their personality to match every side of your whims.
$20 from Mikey. He said, "Could you imagine Alice Cooper apologizing?"
Can you imagine Guar apologizing? Can you imagine like Deicide? I mean, again, these guys are a black metal band, and so there is they're putting on a show apparently and stuff, but like real black metal bands like really burnt down churches. Yeah, that actually happened. Like real black metal bands fucking killed each other, right? Like dudes went to jail because they were like
you see Kanye was just wearing a Burzum shirt.
I did, which is awesome. It's hilarious. But like
name 3 songs.
But so that's part of why I think that people don't want authentic, is because the reality is even the smallest stepping out of line will get you crucified. Clearly, these guys might have offended, Muslims or vegans. Like, look, okay, Muslims will chop your head off maybe. Like, Salman Rushdie got stabbed definitely over offending Islam. But, like, vegans? Really, guys? You're apologizing to vegans? They're, like, the joke of the entire internet. Come on.
Also, I think a lot of this is it's because of the internet and the world being so interconnected now, where back in the day you lived within your subculture and you never had to answer to the people outside of your subculture.
There is no more underground, The underground used to protect people because it was exclusionary, intentionally. The music, like black metal, is intentionally meant to put people off. It's intended to be scary. The point was to be against what was popular, and it shunned what was popular. Like metal bands scorned popular things for like all the 80s and 90s. Like they didn't want to be popular.
I guess it makes sense.
If you got too popular, people stopped liking you.
Punk went mainstream, and now black metal is following suit.
Well, I don't think that there is an underground anymore because of the internet. I don't think you can have an underground. You can't have that same kind of secrets. It's not that it's like hidden, but it's like if you want to hear heavy music, you just got to type in heavy music, and you don't have to go to a store and buy a record, and maybe it's heavy.
Somebody who knows somebody who can get you into the shows that were like invite only. And
exactly.
Stuff like that. That was the subculture, and there's none of that anymore. There's a $20 one here from the Undertaker. Mary, can you read that one?
It says Franziska Maikor. Maikor is a very hot evolutionary biologist. Then there is Amy Mainzer, an astronomer. In the interest of science, I'm more than willing to collaborate on a genetics experiment. Give them my number.
I'll work on that, my friend. We can get on with that. All right, so
it's called collaboration.
If you guys remember, a couple days ago, I covered this thing. I believe it was on here that I talked about it. It might have actually, I'm actually now starting to think that because I've done, this might have actually been, now that I think about it, this might have been on Ballers.
Okay, well, I had no idea about this story, so it's likely something that you talked about off the show.
Yes.
But there's a couple who made a TikTok about how they live in a storage unit instead of an apartment to save money, and they just got kicked out of it after they went viral.
Because the video went viral, and everyone's like, you can't live in those things.
I bet they got kicked out because the cops were called. Or the owner of the storage place is like, I'll get in trouble if I let them stay.
I got another $20 from Cloudroth. There's never been a time in history where so many people are cowering in fear, literally afraid of what others think of them.
It's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. And it's not in history. Like there were times in history where it was worse. I'm fairly confident of that because, tribes were real strict sometimes, but not in modern history. So yeah.
So yeah, they lived in this storage unit. Basically, the whole TikTok, if you go back and watch it, they put boxes up in the front of the door, and then there's like a living space behind there.
Well, show us the video.
Should let us just play it through here. Hold on.
The front of it looks like, or the shallow part looks like boxes are stuck up or stacked up, and you go behind it.
Storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here is actually really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need and want to get done here.
He has a little bit of an unsettling vibe.
I can use the bathroom.
There's no shower. Where are you showering?
I can play music anywhere in the unit.
Bathroom shower.
It's climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm. This unit is 24 hours, so I can come here anytime I want, stay here as long as I need to. We can take naps if we need to and go to sleep. So this is our living space.
Poor guy.
There's his girlfriend.
Very grateful to have this space. The next goal is to get an RV. The next goal after that, tiny home. And if we want to eat, I just cook right out front.
Honestly, I'm kind of here for the gratitude and not complaining about his circumstances and just coming up with a way to fix his problem.
He's bragging about his circumstances.
There's a silver lining here, because after he got kicked out of the storage unit, a bunch of people, like who all watched the video, a benefactor has come forward and is allowing him to live at a hotel until he gets on his feet.
That rules.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So, but I mean, this was always going to happen. You're not allowed to live in those places.
Dylan said he's making crack.
That's why there's no like outlets in the units, because you're not supposed to carry power into those
Cooking
units.
crack outside of my storage unit apartment.
Just like cooking steak outside of a steakhouse or whatever it was that we talked about that one day.
That's poly work.
Yep. that's very true. So, hopefully the guy gets on his feet. But
also, this guy has a child, right?
But he doesn't live with...
But the mother of the child lives separately.
The child lives with his mother.
Yeah.
So... Yep.
Not ideal.
And in perhaps the weirdest collaboration that you're going to hear all week this week, tomorrow, Tom MacDonald is releasing a song with Ben Shapiro.
It's called Facts. I assume that they might not care about our feelings.
I still love the meme of emo Ben Shapiro.
Then they won't mind if I cringe a little.
Yeah, a lot of the comments, they're saying this is cringe. It's coming out tomorrow at 9 a.m. Music video with both of them. Someone said, for some reason, I can't take this shit seriously.
It's a little hard
because it's Ben Shapiro.
My favorite part is the very serious expression on Ben Shapiro's face in this photo.
They're like trying to tell him to look thug.
Look, if it turns out that like the whole thing is Tom MacDonald like doing the rap and then like Ben Shapiro's just playing violin in it, then fine.
That would actually serve.
Yeah, he's awesome at violin. Then
if
that's the case, then cool. If Ben Shapiro raps, I'm gonna make fun of it. I guarantee.
My favorite.
He better be Eminem level if he raps.
I mean, he talks fast enough.
Yeah.
Just give him a script. My favorite meme to this day, it's a picture of Ben Shapiro with the devil's lock and said, she must have been facts because she didn't care about my feelings. So,
Someone said that's going to be a huge fat pass for me. Another said, this is white people's Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is white people's Super Bowl.
New song, DAP. Dry ass P word.
See, what if this is, because remember he re-sang WAP. maybe that's what this is.
He merely recited the lyrics.
Even better if it's just a sample. It's a Ben Shapiro sample.
Yeah,
like he just sampled Ben for the background vocals.
Tacti Platy was asking in the chat if Shapiro's a musician. He plays violin and he's very, very good, if I understand correctly.
Real musician.
I've seen him play, and I know that he can play. But if I understand correctly, he's like nasty. So
there you go. So I'm surprised at how many people are like pissed about this. They're like, big mask off moment for Tom
they're pissed
MacDonald.
off because
because
Ben
they don't
Shapiro
like the Jews,
is a Zionist. So they're saying that Tom MacDonald supports genocide, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, totally.
But I'm just on the side of the people saying, it's kind of cringe. It's kind of cringe. Not just kind of cringe. It's
not the
really
biggest
cringe.
mask off moment. It's the biggest, what?
The mask off moment, that's literally just people thinking that they should be like, he should hate Jews. That's all it is. But I do think that like if he's rapping, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
All right, what would you guys like to see, cringe or cute of the day?
Please give us some cute, please.
Cute first? Okay. We can do that first.
That wasn't the cringe, though.
No, that was not the cringe. Okay, so here, this is from Booster. Says, Harley is the boxer and River, little shit, also inseparable. River loves picking on his little brother, but Harley loves to use his little brother as a pillow.
Yeah, we saw the cuddling photo yesterday, though.
Was it the same one? It was a different one.
Yeah, we didn't see the video, though.
And then this one here, this is from Larissa, says, I volunteer Butters as tribute to be PCC Pet's cute of the day. He hates snow and faked an injury by hopping on 3 legs after 5 minutes into his walk because he wanted to go back inside.
Aww. I saw a guy on the side of the road, on the side of the highway yesterday, rocking his 3-legged dog, and he was hopping.
He was hopping?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do
Must
one
be
more.
Very strong.
This one is from George. It says, Posy Bear embodies cuteness every day.
Aw.
That is a cute dog.
Sweet.
Very sweet. All right, now for cringe of the day. I got this from Camelot yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw this, but here.
What is this?
I saw it.
It's a woman being pulled by a truck.
On her electric scooter.
On her electric scooter. That doesn't look good for the wheels, personally. They're not actually in line.
In the snow, too.
It doesn't look good for anything.
Gonna have to have all-wheel drive for that one. You're gonna have to have four-wheel drive if you're gonna make that
I
work.
mean, just put her in the truck bed, right?
That would make
Wouldn't
more
that
sense.
work better?
I mean, how are you gonna get her in the truck bed?
Yeah, that would be the difficult part. Okay, never mind.
There you go.
Solutions thinking.
All right. Well, we gotta do what we gotta do. All right. Let's go ahead and now that we're only 36 minutes into the show, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we?
Wow, we're early.
We're early today, guys. So the other day, a bunch of pictures leaked. They are very, very spicy AI images of music superstar Taylor Swift, and the internet has collectively lost their mind in support of her. The reason I find this to be so interesting is because this is a topic that has come up more than a few times, especially in recent memory. Whether it's Xochitl Gomez, Scarlett Johansson, many other actresses, the idea of AI deepfake porn is nothing new when it comes to Hollywood celebrities. But now that Taylor Swift is involved, the culture has all collectively held their breath and
Bowed their heads in silence, in solidarity with Taylor Swift.
We will
so
not
just
show-
to be clear, these are completely fake AI-generated images of Taylor Swift in X-rated situations. Okay, these
involving everything from Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, mostly though they're themed around her going to Kansas City Chiefs games, wearing very little clothing and
Wearing mostly body paint, actually.
The Daily Mail says that these are being hosted on a website called Celeb Jihad, one of the many deepfake porn websites in existence that continue to outrun cybercrime investigators.
Shouldn't have checked that one on a work Wi-Fi.
Yes, I did check this out though, and it says Celeb Jihad is a nude celebrity photos and videos website brought to you daily by Islamic extremists. So it's highly satirical, obviously, but these have circulated all over the internet. Like, there's no way that these are going to get erased completely, but they do violate Twitter TOS.
Yes.
And Swifties on Twitter are trying desperately to report accounts that are circulating the images. Some of them are
They're
getting
doxing
suspended. Yeah. Some of the accounts are getting suspended, but others aren't.
I don't listen. I didn't share. I haven't shared any of those
People
pictures.
are saying pics or shut up. We cannot share them.
Yeah,
they will get us banned.
We can't share them.
They are straight up pornographic, and they're not allowed on YouTube. So
I'm not sharing those pictures at all, and I don't think that you should, because it's probably pretty bad. But
well, if it were you, you wouldn't want that to be all over the internet.
No.
It's just basic.
Like I said,
common sense. Here's the TOS though. Unwanted sexual content and graphic objectification is banned on Twitter. We prohibit unwanted sexual conduct and graphic objectification that sexually objectifies an individual without their consent. So it's safe to say all of these images getting circulated violate the TOS, but it's kind of difficult to reverse what's already happened. They're on multiple different platforms, and this is something that the internet can't govern. They can't stop this from happening. And I've noticed that it's really only happening to celebrities and influencers who sexualize themselves the least. You don't see deepfake porn of Cardi B or of Megan Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj
or Sexy Red
or Lizzo or Sexy Red or all of these different female celebrities who sexually objectify themselves in public by choice. You only see it from Taylor Swift, who has a clean-cut image. I'm seeing Scarlett Johansson, Selena Gomez, a lot of different people who have more clean-cut images who expressly wouldn't want this on the internet.
There is an attempt. There is like a part of the people that are doing this that like to defile people that wouldn't do this kind of thing. Like
part of the appeal is almost we're violating your privacy, and that's part of the appeal of making these images. If it's somebody who already sexually objectifies themselves, like an OnlyFans girl, there's no point.
Well, there's no market for that. They could just see the real thing.
Right.
There's no reason to do that.
Exactly. So, some of these photos I unfortunately had to scroll through, looking through these trending. Taylor Swift AI was trending. Protect Taylor Swift started trending because Swifties are really upset about this. I think that the Swifties are upset because they like Taylor Swift, not because they think that this is some kind of ethical monstrosity. This has happened to other celebrities before, and it got way less attention. We just talked about Xochitl Gomez. She's a Marvel actress, and she plays America Chavez, and she is underage. She's 17 years old, and she had to come across these images of herself that were deep-faked.
Which her mom had been
tried to get them removed from the internet.
Her mom had been working overtime to try and get them removed because she's underage.
Yeah, her mom had been trying to get these removed from the internet, and it wasn't working. And she came across these not knowing that they existed before. And she talked about this in an interview, and I didn't see this trending. I didn't see Protect Xochitl Gomez trending. I see it because it's Taylor Swift. And she's like the messiah to these people.
Yeah, you've crossed the line once you've officially crossed her, and that's the problem. This is one of the comments from the Daily Mail article. It says, how is this not considered sexual assault? Can't be the only one who is finding this weird and uncomfortable. Are we talking about the body and face of a woman being used for something she probably would never allow or feel comfortable with?
It's not sexual assault because no one was assaulted.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is where, like, I guess you could say revenge porn, but it's not that either.
There might be something else that you could charge them with, and maybe there needs to be a new law made, but you don't misuse laws, and you definitely don't misuse assault. Well, assault is a real thing. It's an extremely important legal term.
We've already heard the term digitally human trafficked or whatever.
Yeah, well,
but people are lobbying the government to legislate on this because this is such a new phenomenon that they don't really know what to do with it yet.
And I'm okay with it.
I just saw this story from a high schooler who is a deepfake victim pushing for federal law targeting AI-generated explicit content in New Jersey. And I also just saw a headline earlier today about a 14-year-old girl who reportedly committed suicide after classmates of hers were circulating deepfaked videos of her in porn scenes. So this is not just affecting celebrities, but unfortunately, the way that the world works today, if it doesn't affect a celebrity, then nobody's going to pay attention to it as a social issue.
Yeah. Yep. That story is particularly egregious. What happened?
It's awful. It's tragic
to that girl.
And I don't think it's right when it happens to anyone, but you know, the unequal enforcement of these standards is clear on display.
How do you think she's going to respond to this?
I don't think she's going to respond at all, and she would be smart not to. Yeah. She doesn't respond to most controversies surrounding her.
It would be Streisand affecting it for her for her to bring it up.
It's a self-defeating issue here.
That's actually an issue for her, like where her own involvement would actually make it worse for herself.
Right, exactly. And I have seen, you know, Twitter is suspending some of the accounts that are posting these images, but they can't possibly get all of them. Yep. And the images are out there now. Like the cat's out of the bag. It's impossible to stop it.
Well, not only that, the technology's out there too. So even if they got rid of like these,
and it's only getting more and more advanced.
There, it's going to get worse.
Yeah,
it's going to get worse. It's there was a show called Dollhouse where they find a way of transferring like your whole brain, your human consciousness can be uploaded into other into other bodies. You can wipe a mind blank and basically put your entire personality, your brain into another person. And the whole idea behind the show is like, now that the technology has been invented, you can't uninvent it.
Yeah.
This is the path that we're on now, and there's nothing else we can do about that.
It's the stuff of a Black Mirror episode.
Yes, you cannot unring that bell.
And that's true, and I think that there's a lot of context that applies to, like the idea that we can be, we could ever be not constantly monitored. I think that ship left the port a long time ago. That's not an option anymore. I think that those kind of things have gone away and they were gone a long time ago.
I don't remember. Did Scarlett Johansson ever address this issue when she talked? Because it seemed to be she was the one case where I feel like I saw more people talking about it with her originally.
Emma Watson as well.
Yes, yes, and Emma Watson. So
big.
Those were the celebrities that it seemed like it happened to initially the most. Scarlett Johansson's an interesting version of that because she has not sexualized herself, but she's known for being a woman that has used her sexuality in roles before.
Yeah, but I also have seen this happen to at least one male celebrity, Ice Cube. He got,
I did not know
someone tagged him in an AI-generated image of him in a sexual connotation, and he blocked them, and they were like clowning on him for this. But like, what would you do if it was you?
Yeah.
You know, like it's just really disheartening. And bears mentioning that Travis Kelce isn't in any of these Kansas City Chiefs themed images.
He is in the
He's not
one
in any of them.
where Taylor Swift has given birth and Travis Kelce is there and she's holding the baby.
And the baby happens to be black.
Yes.
That was the image.
He was in that one. It doesn't even really look like him all that much in that one. But
yeah.
This is a bell that can't be unrung. It's going to keep happening to celebrities. It is going to be a cautionary tale for a lot of people who, suddenly back in the day might have wanted to become famous. Now you have to ask yourself, do I actually want to put myself out there and face that much public scrutiny? Because this will be one of the things that can happen.
Unfortunately, the reason people are posting these things is because they have internet anonymity.
Yes.
They're not going to be identified for who they are. But also the only way you can protect yourself from these things is internet anonymity.
Say nothing, do nothing, be nothing.
I think we missed a $20 super chat.
Yes, from Mikey says, Futurama did it first. Sex bots and heads in jars tech. Okay.
I didn't see that.
There's it's a crazy world that we're living in, and this technology is only going to get better, and it's going to happen very quickly, if I had to guess, in the next couple of years.
The stuff that we're seeing now is still in its infancy, and the more complex it gets and the more advanced it gets, the faster the progress is going to be. So
I've also seen it with AOC.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They did that picture was circulating a lot when right during Boobgate with Lauren Boebert. They're like, can we just get these two women to mud wrestle to see which geriatric man becomes the next president? That's the world you live in now. You have to.
I'm not saying I like AOC, but I don't think this should happen to anyone.
Yeah.
It's not right.
I just, I don't know if I would ever want to be somebody of her level of fame who's going to have to worry about this stuff all the time, especially, like you said, when you've protected and you've portrayed a fairly modest person. Right?
Yeah, that's one of the things that, for all of Taylor Swift's faults, a lot of parents really like Taylor Swift because she's one singular celebrity out there, especially for female pop stars, that doesn't have an overtly sexualized public image. She keeps herself clean cut, teeny bopper friendly.
Yeah.
There are a few exceptions, and that's the reason why she's being portrayed in this way by people with bad intentions.
Yeah.
You're not going to see deepfake porn of celebrities who already lean into sexualizing themselves.
Or if they do, there's just less of a market for it.
No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Because they've seen it already.
It's like no one cares to see Sexy Red's.
And it's specifically
genitals.
about humiliating the person. That's
Olivia
what it
Clare
is.
says she isn't modest. She's not modest? Is Taylor Swift not modest?
She's not.
Look, if you're comparing her to the mainstream in Hollywood, absolutely, I think that she keeps, relative to the rest, like, I guess, virginal image. Her song lyrics, they're love songs or they're revenge songs, but they are not sexual in nature, almost ever. I can't think of any other example.
Not actually sexual, no.
Yeah, no. And even in the costumes that she wears on stage, like, she keeps it PG.
They might not be modest because they're form fitting,
right?
But they're not immodest.
Compare it to what else is on the market. It's actually, kind of a good thing that she's the most powerful and famous pop star right now, because we could have worse.
Deer Scream says she's a Trojan horse for degeneracy.
Taylor Swift is?
I guess, yeah.
Well, it's not her fault that this is happening.
Trojan Horse Degeneracy would be a band name I'd like too. I'd take that. Also, I did figure this was bear mentioning. If you're also looking at the effects Taylor Swift has on the culture, anti-hero bridesmaid chooses Taylor Swift concert over going to her best friend's wedding.
So, yeah, we talked about how Taylor Swift is causing divorces.
Yep.
Also ending friendships.
Yep, that's very sad. She says, I felt she so often provided the soundtrack to life's moments and helped me find the perfect track to sum up how I felt at any moment. I danced to 22 on my 22nd birthday, saying we are never ever getting back together when I broke up with my ex, and blasted Shake It Off whenever I was having a bad day. So I wouldn't go far as to calling myself a Swiftie by any means, but I do understand the adoration that people have for Spotify's 2023's most listened artist. But I do think I don't think I could forgive my bestie for committing this cardinal sin. So can you imagine choosing Taylor Swift over your best friend?
No,
That's
I couldn't.
very, very sad.
Oh, I also wanted to mention that Taylor Swift's biggest stalker just got arrested for the third time. He's visited her apartment in New York City like 30 times.
Like 30 times?
And now, so he's stalking Taylor Swift, and TMZ is stalking him.
Yeah.
They're like taking pictures of him from blocks away while he's like smoking a cigarette outside of McDonald's. So he's kind of being stalked as well. It's a stalking train.
Listen, all you, yeah, it's so dumb.
It's really interesting. This is actually something we don't cover that much, but there is a stalking problem going on in Hollywood even more than ever.
Really?
Now. Oh yeah, there's stories all the time about celebrities' houses getting broken
Would you say
into.
it's getting worse?
I mean, maybe I'm just noticing it now because I'm reading the headlines every day, but I see a lot of it.
Ariana Grande had a stalker that broke into her home literally like 90 times.
Yep.
Like, don't you just have a security team at that point?
I mean, where does she? Was it in California or
Yes.
something? Yeah, that's why. 'Cause
Yeah.
I tell you what, you break into my house, there won't be a second time.
She wasn't there, obviously, but point still stands.
You hire security.
Yeah, you should do that.
Someone breaks in, hire a security guard, you
Right.
know, and make sure it doesn't happen again.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Andrew Jacobs said, please have on Josie, the redhead libertarian, to review Cabrini in March.
She's Italian. And she's a woman.
Not Josie.
No,
Cabrini. Yeah, the trailer for Cabrini, it's very heavy on mentioning that the protagonist is an Italian woman.
There was also a 99-cent here from Yesh. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Shane H. Wilder said, happy Thursday, Brett, Mary, Phil, and Crisis Actors.
Ew.
I'm back. Did you miss me? No? Well, I can't say I expected anything less.
Well, I did. I did actually
were missed.
write back to him. I did write back in the chat. Yes, you have been missed, my friend. And let's do one more.
Andrew sent us a purple mustache.
Oh.
Okay. Thanks for that.
And then, well, did you get the other one here from Shane? About
Shane H. Wilder said, Phil, during my 7-hour drive yesterday, I was yelling that the left lane was for crime. I was trying to beat the GPS time. Let's go.
There you go.
It's true. The left lane is for crime. I have begun ending the IRL streams with the left lane is for crime
Perfect.
as well. So.
All right, Mary, you're going to have to explain, as the resident Gen Zer here, you're the closest thing we're going to have here to being able to explain what the hell Skibidi Toilet is to the rest of us.
It's about time we talk about Skibidi Toilet. And as a member of Gen Z, I have to say, this is the first meme or trend on the internet that Gen Z is lamenting that they don't understand. This is Gen Alpha's content. This is what they're consuming on their iPads. This is the iPad baby generation.
I would like to welcome Gen Z to feeling old.
Yes, this is the first taste of it.
Exactly what it feels like.
Skibidi Toilet, if you haven't heard of it before, is a cartoon series on YouTube on a channel called Da Fuck Boom that has over 38 million subscribers and over 1 billion views on their channel. And it's only growing from there. There are over 70 episodes and the production value is soaring every time. And no one seems to know exactly who is behind this channel. It depends who you go to, like what article you're looking at, who they name this guy to be.
All right, I haven't seen
The
this
Guardian
yet.
says this is a Georgian content creator named Alexei Gerasimov. And I don't know how to explain this other than it's portraying human heads that live in toilets that are invading the world, and they are fighting against a resistance movement of people called the camera heads or the cameramen who have human bodies, but they have cameras, televisions, or speakers for heads. And you're supposed to be rooting for the cameramen over the toilets, over the Skibidi toilets. And basically, it's just a story of a war in the world for control. And I don't know if it's ever going to end. But let's take a look at a clip of this just so you can get a feel for what we're talking about. And this is going to be Phil's first reaction to Skibidi Toilet. I'm very excited.
Audio?
Audios, that's the audio. It's I did not mute it.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is great.
I did not mute this, so this is the embedded clip that we got here in the article.
What's not to get? That's awesome. Is that Tim?
Could be.
They're flushing themselves.
Somebody said if it's Russian propaganda, if this is Russian propaganda, then count me in.
I don't. So I'm not quite sure what's not to get. It's just kind of cool robots.
Well, you haven't seen the toilets.
That toilet just flushed himself, right?
It's all completely nonverbal. Global appeal.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so can you also show us the YouTube short that is in
I have no problem with
the first part
Do you
of the
want to
article?
explain, well, first you should explain to people what Skibidi toilet syndrome is.
Yeah, so
Oh.
parents of Gen Alpha are really worried about their kids who are watching Skibidi Toilet, and they're concerned about their behavior and calling it Skibidi Toilet Syndrome, where children are starting to imitate the Skibidi toilets by putting themselves in laundry baskets and singing Skibidi Skibidi. But here, show us the YouTube short of a child with Skibidi syndrome for context.
Skibidi bom 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 yes yes. Bom bom nick nick. Skibidi bom 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 yes yes. Skibidi bom.
Yeah.
I mean, there were plenty of times during my less good years where I could have been that person, but I'm just saying.
Skibidi toilet syndrome is a catch-all term for what parents believe is concerning behavior their children display after watching the show. Parents have documented their kids becoming obsessed with Skibidi Toilet, upset or angry after being restricted or banned from watching it, or sitting in baskets or boxes and acting like the Skibidi Toilets, which seems more cute than terrifying.
So Bucko.
And I saw this Reddit post. So it's called "Is My Son in a Skibidi Toilet Cult?" Concerning dad seeking answers.
I'm watching Skibidi Toilet right now. This is awesome.
My 11-year-old son seems to be utterly obsessed with Skibidi toilets. I'm not sure if this is some kind of cult, a meme, or bizarre trend, but it's causing concern in our household. He spends every waking moment glued to his iPad watching Skibidi toilet videos on YouTube Shorts, which I gather is some kind of TikTok-like platform. It's gotten to the point where he watches these videos religiously and multitasks with them while doing his chores, which is rare because he's typically too busy watching Skibidi toilet. What troubles me more is his reaction when I try to limit his screen time. He becomes infuriated. It's as if I've taken away his lifeline. I can't seem to keep him away from these Skibidi toilets for more than an hour or two without a meltdown. I need your help, Reddit.
Well, the Russian police are getting involved. They're getting to the bottom of this.
So now, a concerned dad in Russia has alerted the authorities about Skibidi Toilet and its effects on children. So now Russian police, according to local news, have launched an investigation into the channel and its detrimental effects on children's brains. They say, "We received an appeal from a Moscow resident about the need to block video materials on the internet in the form of short Skibidi toilet films, which have a detrimental effect on children."
These parents need to take responsibility for their parenting.
That's right.
Stop ruining everybody else's fun because you don't know how to raise your kids.
You're pro Skibidi Toilet, is what
I
I'm
am.
hearing. Can you show us the YouTube short of a Skibidi Toilet just for a
Do we have
a close up from the Guardian article?
The top one, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
They sing. Sort of a musical.
Here we go. The song's gonna get us copyright.
Yeah. It's great.
So it's a little bit disturbing when the Skibidi Toilets lunge at the camera at the end of these clips. I mean, mostly it just seems like mindless brain rot content.
It's if you grew up on Cocomelon, you'll love in your formative years, you'll love Skibidi Toilet.
I would almost say that Skibidi Toilet is better for children than Cocomelon because at this point Cocomelon is starting to inject some LGBTQ propaganda into their content. Skibidi Toilet is just some fun Russian toilet guys.
Random,
and explosions. So maybe it's not as bad. I don't know.
$20 one here from Mikey says, "This seems like a nothing burger. My son used to do all kinds of silly things." It's not about being a nothing burger or a something burger. It's just a cultural trend that's relevant right now. Thus, it's worth discussing. This is one of those terms that a lot of people have now heard but don't know what it means. Right? I follow more than a few content creators who have mentioned it where I just never investigated further into what it meant But now that Gen Z is going to know what it's like to get old, maybe they'll ease up a little bit.
Yeah, this says Skibidi Toilet is the first meme that Gen Z doesn't understand. They don't understand the appeal of it, and Gen Alpha is the generation that directly follows Gen Z. We spend a lot of time clowning on Gen Z on this show, which I have no problem with, but I think that we have more to worry about when it comes to Gen Alpha, because they started in the year 2012. These are kids who were born with screens in hand.
Yep.
Like, they don't know anything outside of that. At least I can say, like, I grew up at least having a distance from technology.
Yeah.
But it's almost the interface that they know the world to be. And they're going to be far more socially stunted than Gen Z is, it seems. And they're entering high school in only a few years. Like, 2012, in your mind, you can think it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, it's been a while, and these kids are entering high school, and they're going to be entering the adult world in like far sooner than we think. And I'm worried about it. Like, a lot of teachers are making TikToks saying that they teach Gen Alpha, and they're just ungovernable and not in a good way. Like, they are not able to take instruction. They have zero attention spans. They're incredibly badly behaved. They have a lot of weird, like,
any surprise. This is all predictable. This is all stuff that people that have been saying for a long time. The behavior of Gen Alpha I'm talking about, not specifically this toilet.
I mean, even me, as somebody who's an older millennial, has found himself
and subscribed.
Like, most of the YouTube stuff that I watch now is short form content, just by virtue of, like, I don't have a lot of free time, so when I do, I watch short form videos on how stuff gets made. A lot less long form content. That might change in the future depending on what I'm doing for work.
That's totally different for me, because I just play podcasts from YouTube in the background as I do different things.
The podcasts that I listen to usually are about reviewing movies and television, and it tends to be older stuff, not a whole lot of newer stuff. But the short form content that I watch, is a lot of it just I get trapped in the doom scroll of sorts, where I just, I hit one video and then the shorts start playing, and then I look up and 20 minutes has gone by, and I've watched videos about cobblers creating shoes, bricklaying, and people who power wash driveways and various other things. And
I end up watching a lot of smelting videos.
And how a lot of stuff on how welding is done and things like that.
Anything that heats metal anything that heats metal or rock to a liquid state, I'm probably gonna get.
It's very, very man content.
Gun mods and stuff like that. Short form gun mods and stuff that's interesting. But it's good.
There's definitely worse stuff out there for kids to watch than Skibidi Toilet. I'm not saying I endorse Skibidi Toilet. Like, it probably is best for your kids not to be in front of an iPad at all.
Be More Ruckus says Brett's watching horse reshoeing videos. No, but I do watch the one where they shave the wool off of what are they?
Those sheep.
Yeah, there's this lady who has a channel where she just goes around and she shears the wool off sheep. I watch those.
I've watched far more hoof repair and hoof injury repair
it's crazy to
than
watch.
I ever thought that I would watch. I have seen so many hooves with abscesses underneath them get cleaned up and wrapped up by a vet.
I don't really want to look at that.
I didn't think I did either, but you know what? Every time they come up, I'm like.
I watched one the other day of an ear canal get cleaned out. It was incredible. It was incredible.
I don't get that, and I don't get the pimple popping videos.
I don't watch the pimple popping ones, but the ear canal one was ridiculously satisfying.
So we're all watching mind-numbing content.
Yes, everyone.
I was telling these guys, I watched a video of how they used to make blue dye in ancient China, just all the by hand, the smashing up of some kind of blue amethyst or whatever. I'm not sure what it was, but they smash it all up in the whole nine, and it's like a 4-minute long TikTok, and I'm just watching. It's
but at least that's educational.
I am never gonna make blue dye in the old Chinese way,
or the ones where
it doesn't harm you to find out how they do it.
Fair enough.
Where they make throwing stars and knives out of granite, where they actually cut the granite from scratch.
Now I need to see these.
Yes.
Do you have the TikTok app, or is this just on YouTube?
No, this is
Shorts?
YouTube. These are YouTube Shorts.
I don't look at YouTube Shorts, and I don't have TikTok because I got banned.
I don't use TikTok.
Hey, Camelot's in the chat. Hi, Camelot.
Yep.
Hi, Camelot.
Yeah, there's he says the blackhead ones make my balls quiver. Yes, not good. But yeah, like that's the stuff. Like my attention span is sufficiently drained these days.
But if that happens to you, right, a millennial on the older side of the millennials who didn't grow up with screens in your face all the time, imagine what it's doing to children who have known no different their entire lives and have an absolute emotional breakdown every time that they are limited.
We are on completely new territory for human beings now. Between screens, between having most people being raised with one individual parent, you know, not even two parents, but having most people being raised by a single mother, or at least half the people being raised by a single mother, having most families not be two parents together.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like
we're about to have children born out of that weren't even gestated in real wombs. We don't know what that's going to do to people's psychology. Like, we are in all new, the next 20 years is all new territory, you know?
Oh, the other ones, magnet fishing, where they pull stuff off the bottom of like lakes and stuff with riverbeds with magnets. Yeah. And my favorite
they
are the
solve
ones,
cold cases.
My favorite are the ones where they find guns and then they do the right thing. They report it to the cops and the cops still treat them like dicks.
That is the wrong thing.
It's hilarious because every time they do it, I'm like, it's like the same guys. And I'm like, you're in the same town. They're going to keep treating you like a dick.
It's the same cop too.
Yes,
and he's in on it. They're just doing it for the likes.
And every so often you'll get the ones where like the cop is actually respectful and it's like, oh, you know, like it's very clearly like a bunch of YouTubers doing this and not a serial killer or not a gang member who's doing this. And it's I love those videos. Also great. Fantastic. Or geocaching videos. People who go geocaching.
I would rather kids watch videos like all of the ones you're describing than Skibidi Toilet.
I feel like geocaching is too... I disagree. And actually, only because I don't think that Skibidi Toilet is actually bad. And the geocaching ones, I like the idea, but I feel like they're like geocaching is so new, you don't really get interesting stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get anything like really cool.
The idea is that it's supposed to be it's like a little tiny army man, like, you know, like a little action figure.
Oh, it's supposed to be something small.
It's supposed to be something small.
Right.
It's that's the whole point. But I'm like, who has the time to do this? Like, I don't never have the time to do this. All right, let's go to Super Chats then, shall we?
Corey Anderson said, "Wrong, Mary. Lord of the Rings required 2 additional films."
That was not a movie that was never. It was always going to have.
Trilogy,
it was a trilogy. It's like so in the movie Scream 2, at the very beginning of the movie, when they're in film class and they're talking about, has there ever been a sequel that was better than the original? And they give their examples, and then finally they come up with Terminator 2. Good, right? Perfect example. But then as the movie goes on, they keep bringing up examples, and he goes, he mentions Star Wars, and I forget the other one. He goes, not a sequel, part of a trilogy, completely planned. If it's part of a trilogy, it's not a sequel. It's just the second in an installment.
200 Watt Studio said, "Isn't the Academy made up of their peers?"
Yes.
Yeah, they should be mad at themselves.
Yep.
Not at the patriarchy.
Let's
Disco
do 2
Jensen
more.
said, "Let them eat cake."
Yes.
Taylor Swift. Corey Anderson said, "Mary, if I were a worm, would you still tolerate my BS super chats?"
Wait, that's a very female question to ask.
Yeah.
Would you?
You're kind of giving me the ick right now.
Would you still love me if I was a worm?
Takti Plati said, "Brett, I also liked the Predator movie, not Mun though."
Yeah, like, look, also at that time, I had only, when I saw the Predator remake, I had only seen the original Predator once. I have now seen it a couple of times since then, and I appreciate it a lot more now than I did in 2018, but I did find it okay. And let's do one more.
The Undertaker said, "Sofia Viagra, she already has a Bond name."
Perfect. That's perfect. All right, let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back after the fact. Mary, tell us about Dan Benson and what's going on.
Well, Disney continues recycling all of their old content because they don't have any original ideas. And newest in that trend is a reboot of their former Disney Channel show with Selena Gomez called Wizards of Waverly Place. And they announced that this reboot is going to have Selena Gomez in the pilot, but she's not going to be in the rest of the series. And it's going to star the guy who played her brother in the show, David Henry.
Because they could not afford her.
They could not afford her. She is busy doing Only Murders in the Building. And one of the stars who was on the original show playing a supporting character named Zeke, named Dan Benson, has spoken out that he was decidedly excluded from casting in this new reboot because of his career in porn. Yes. He has an OnlyFans. I believe we've actually talked about him in the past because there's sort of a trend where
came up with Maitland Ward, who was on Boy Meets World and then was not invited back for Girl Meets World because she is a very, very well-known adult film star now.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why she'd want to come back.
There is a Disney Channel to porn pipeline.
Oh, Maitland Ward. That's it. That's me.
Yeah.
So this guy, Dan Benson, he went down the Disney Channel star to porn pipeline, I guess. And he has said he was not invited for the reboot and blames his porn career. As if we should feel bad for him or something.
Andrina says that guy was such a minor character.
Right. He played the friend of one of the main characters, but I don't know why he would assume that he would get asked back for the reboot. He's just trying to get attention, to get more subscribers on his OnlyFans.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Yeah, so let's take a look at his TikTok here.
They're at this point in. Well, go ahead, actually.
Okay, so hold on. Let's. So we got to do the one that you sent yesterday.
The pop bass.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's do this one.
In a sequel. Are you?
Is it gonna let me play full screen?
That's the porn actor?
Yes. Might not.
I'm sure his subscribers are male.
Are you kidding me? Today they just announced that they're bringing back Wizards of Waverly Place in a sequel. Are you kidding me? I mean, yo, that's hype. But oh boy, what have I done? I waited like 13 years, just waiting around. Now, okay, here we go. Let's fire it up. As soon as Dan becomes a porn star, let's reboot Wizards again. You guys suck. I'm just kidding. What do you think they do with Zeke's character? They just act like he doesn't exist?
Yes.
Yes.
Do they recast him? Oh my god, is there going to be someone else playing? No.
He's not a good actor either. I can see why he didn't get the job again.
Yeah, he's giving Disney Channel acting in this big age. So I guess that he's pissed off because he feels like he deserved to get cast in this reboot. I mean, this is also a reboot that's made for an adult audience.
As they all are. We got a $20 one here from Operation Outstanding in Field. Says Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, or X-Men the Animated Series. Phil?
Pardon me?
So Batman I'm assuming he's asking you to pick, or he's asking us to pick one of these. Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, or X-Men the Animated Series. The answer is Batman the Animated
I'm
Series.
almost 50, man.
I didn't watch any of these, so I don't have.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it all.
The answer is Batman the Animated Series.
So he also did an interview with TMZ about this, and he says he suspects he wasn't asked back for Wizards because of his porn career. Let's take a look at that.
Now
interview
Keys is
that
saying
he
he's
did.
literally the main character's best friend. So I don't. Again, I did not watch this show, so I don't know.
No, he was not. Harper was Alex's best friend. That's Selena Gomez. Harper was the best friend, and she's going back to the reboot. Okay. This guy was David Henry's best friend, so David Henry is starring in it. But look, this is just, this happens all the time when OnlyFans women are warned that if they go into porn, they're going to ruin future opportunities to have a normal life and have a normal job. And this is just another example of that, but for a guy.
Well, I think that nowadays women might be able to pull it off because Kim Kardashian, Kim Kardashian really did kind of knock it down.
Thank you.
Guys, knock down the wall.
Kim Kardashian is Kim Kardashian.
Well, no, but I mean, Kim Kardashian became famous because of the sex tape. That's really what made it famous.
But off of the facade that was released against her will. That was a fake story, though. Ray J revealed a couple of years ago that it was all planned.
Yeah, I still think that.
But she was famous off of the story that this was released against her will, that she was so upset about it and she was traumatized by it. Not that she chose to have a porn career.
Yes, that was a long time ago, though. And I think that society has gotten to the point now where most people are degenerate enough where if an adult actress was like, well, I'm going to make the move to regular, acting, I don't think that there would be a significant outcry. As if she could do it. If she had the chops.
There are other actors. There's a couple that
Chloe Cherry is an example who was in Euphoria.
Yeah, somebody in the chat says Sam Livingston could hire him. It's Sam Levinson, but we get your point.
He's not a good enough actor anyway. No. But Euphoria is basically porn anyway.
The other way. Yeah. Do you want to watch the clip?
We have a $20 from Philip Reed. He said it was all made in Gmod. Yeah, Gary's Mod, a video game known for cursed animations. Yeah. The sandbox game.
Yep. I had to look into that too. I felt like such a boomer having to look all this stuff up. It was it's fantastic.
Okay, let's look at his TMZ interview.
All right, here we go, guys.
Him fishing for sympathy.
Feel bad for me.
That it's super exciting that the fans get to kind of relive their childhood again and their old characters they used to love.
When are millennials not reliving their childhood?
They need to stop reliving their childhood and start living their adulthood.
Are these generations not reliving their childhood? They are in a perpetual state of reliving their childhood. Living your adulthood would be good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's a good idea.
Watching or coming back. I loved the premise, like the new idea that they're doing for the show. The other side of me is very sad because I know for a fact that I will definitely not be a part of it. That's all on me. I totally get it. I made choices that made it so it's like I
can respect
the
him
chance
taking
of
responsibility
bringing back
for
the
his
character I
actions,
played away when I decided to go along this path of being an adult content creator, and I get it. So I'm very conflicted. I'm like super happy and also just like, dang it. Yeah, it's a mix of emotions for me right now. Do I think that by me doing porn made it so they can't bring my character back? Yes. The short answer is yes. I think that I put them in a situation where they don't have a choice. They can't reasonably bring back my character without bringing back all of the weight that my personal choices have. There's a lot of, it's crazy to be an adult content creator, and it's crazier to do it so publicly and to be a former child actor from a Disney Channel show. I don't see any way. You know what's funny is I like to imagine that in the production meeting, like the first executive meeting that they had on this pitch or whatever, someone in the room didn't know, right? They're like, oh, we can bring back Jerry, and oh, Max is going to be so fun to bring back, and all this other, and like, oh, we can even bring Zeke back. And someone else in the room's like, oh, you don't know. Oh, no. Like they Google for the first time, like, oh, Jesus. Look, I hope it doesn't suck. I really hope that this new show captures like the amazing, just magical, no pun intended, years that we had together creating this show. I think, and all the fans are still, the excitement.
All right, we've heard enough. We've heard enough.
Yep.
I think that, it's good that he's recognizing this is a consequence of his own choices. Like, oh no, if it weren't for the consequences of my own actions.
Would a female put in this position have taken the same response, do you think?
Well, what did Maitland Ward say?
She, actually, I can look that up because I was looking it up beforehand. I wonder what her actual comments were on it. But
the sick thing is, though, that this guy had a platform to start an OnlyFans and sell his body online because of his past on the Disney Channel, and because that kind of like has a weird fetishistic response from people, and the same thing for Maitland Ward. like the fact that they were child stars is all the more reason why people are interested in seeing them naked, which is gross.
She claims she was snubbed. She claims Disney snubbed her on purpose, but never exactly why she thinks this is. Says, I think Disney was definitely instrumental in not having me back, and I don't think some of the cast wanted me back either, she said in an interview with E! News. So that's not really snubbing. She says, I kind of felt like I was just gone from them. Like, we don't want anything to do with you anymore. She reportedly had a feud with Daniel Fishel, who plays Topanga. But yeah, I mean, still, it's not really about wanting to be done with you. It's just, it's checks and balances. It's cost-benefit analysis. They can't do that to their brand.
Yeah.
Also, this guy, unlike Maitland Ward, was not remembered by fans.
Yes.
They're not going to watch this reboot and be like, where's the Zeke character though? Like, they don't miss his character at all.
I can't imagine that the fans are going to be upset that he's not there,
they're
or
not.
wouldn't, or any.
But nobody's gonna watch this shit anyway.
That's fair
They
enough,
also
too.
were thinking about bringing back Lizzie McGuire for a reboot on Hulu, and then they trashed the idea. But it was basically supposed to be Lizzie McGuire being a girl boss in New York City as an interior decorator, and her boyfriend cheats on her. So it basically sounds like, what if we put Lizzie McGuire and Sex in the City and like smashed them together and made them an adult show? It sounded like an awful idea anyway. They called it a sex-positive teen show that didn't go through.
I don't like that name.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. But I disagree with you, Phil. I don't think that our society is so degenerate to the point where you can seamlessly go from a porn career into any normal career.
Well, I mean,
the entertainment
seamlessly
industry
is saying a little more than I did.
Well, the entertainment industry is a whole different beast. Like, you can't. I see that the former Playboy models are going into real estate and stuff like that, but I think that there's still significant taboo and stigma that should be around sex work. And that's why a lot of these teachers who have OnlyFans keep losing their jobs when they're found out for doing sex work.
I think that the teacher aspect is why they lose their jobs, not the public facing part of it. I think that honestly, I think that if done right, it can't be just like, do like
Well, there was
all
also,
internal and then
What about the
jump
cop?
on to
what
like.
about the cop who
There was
pulled
a- yes!
over a female cop pulled over
Yeah.
a guy, and the cop recognized her from OnlyFans. And was-
She got suspended from the force. That was a Minneapolis cop, right?
yes,
Yeah. And so it's not just teachers. I also heard about a professor. Okay, so he's teaching adults.
Teachers.
And he recently got fired from his job
Again,
because he was doing porn
I
with
think
his
the-
wife.
the
we're
teacher
talking
part of
we're
that
talking
is-
about
yeah.
different things. If you're talking about going from adult films to another part of the entertainment industry, I think you can pull it off. I think going from adult films to other industries would probably have other kind of it's a different context. The entertainment industry, people, and Hollywood, people have really started to, especially younger people, have blurred the lines between actual pornography or actual exclusively adult actors and actresses and your average celebrities. The line is significantly less blurred. And I don't.
That's also because the line is blurred between mainstream entertainment and pornography.
Yes.
that was going on in the early 2000s.
as
That was
content-
already
And
going
that
on.
is, and that's
Yeah.
why I think that you could, as a porn actor, make the transition into regular entertainment.
Just
I'm
not
not
on
saying you
Disney.
couldn't.
lot-
No, exactly. I'm not.
A
Again,
lot of-
it's
a lot of
context
them
specific.
ended up
It depends on the
doing-
context.
A lot of those actresses ended up doing B movies and having bit roles. Like they had actual, like on True Detectives, they had actual porn stars for a lot of the nude scenes and stuff like that. There was a lot more crossover than you might think. There's no update on what happened to the cop, by the way. I was looking for an update on what just
Okay.
happened, because basically she pulls this guy over. And the guy's like, "You have no authority over me. I subscribe to your OnlyFans." Like what? You're like the color of authority is kind of gone when you've seen every part of her.
I don't know, man. That gun still goes bang, and that's the thing that
But
gives
I'm
him
just saying,
authority.
the point was like the illusion of the power was
But
gone.
that goes for anything. Like, maybe I wouldn't have a problem with my barista having an OnlyFans, but I would have a problem with buying a house from a real estate agent that has an OnlyFans. It's just varying degrees of the type of authority that they're trying to take in society.
Actually, that one doesn't really, like, that one seems like there's more of a I don't know. Like, I just don't see that one as a problem. Like, somehow.
Well,
Playboy,
I am more puritanical between the two of us.
There's also like, have you ever seen that video that went viral of the woman who said like she wanted to make an OnlyFans? She's crying. She's like, I just had to get my real estate license because OnlyFans wasn't for me. Like, basically, she's deciding like you have every woman has a choice.
Real estate or OnlyFans.
Yeah, like you have to make your choice eventually, and that's what it is. Also, a lot of the like there's whole Instagrams of like real estate thoughts. That's a thing.
Oh yeah. But I mean, the reason that is though is because people tend to trust people that are attractive. That's all attractiveness privilege. Those women are making sales because dudes want to give them money anyways.
Yep. All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Potatoes for Seamus said, let's get a rowdy vocals hello from Phil. Hi, Mary.
Hello!
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
Potatoes for Seamus said, happy Friday, Brent. Let's go.
Please, none of the gaslighting. I don't have it in me today.
T-Dog said, Rachel Zeglar was a bitch to Gina and Jeremy, but look up what Halle Bailey did to a pregnant Russian salon owner last year. Also, Jean Grey from X-Men.
I think we talked about that, about Halle Bailey.
We didn't ever get into that drama, actually.
But we knew about it.
So, yeah, Halle Bailey, she, like, put a salon owner on blast because they, like, I don't know, something happened where they, like, canceled her appointment or something. It was really messy. Quite Blackpilled said, the term black girl magic is baffling to me. You really want everyone treating you like a Make-A-Wish kid and pretend you're Batman?
Look, I'm uncomfortable saying that term, but they actually said it in the Marvels. Samuel L. Jackson says it in the Marvels.
Black girl magic?
Yes.
Oh God.
Thanks,
I physically cringed when that line happened. Like, the idea that you can take a character as awesome and at one point as serious as Nick Fury was in those movies and reduce him down to such stupidity was insulting.
Marco said, I want Ben to rap in Hebrew. We might get it. Shane H. Wilder said, I don't think that truck can handle that payload.
Probably not. Let's do one more.
Hiroshima Otaru said, gotta say, Taylor was in AI Spice since the start.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, I could have guessed that was the case, but it wasn't getting as much public attention.
Let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact. Let's talk about Sarah Snook is her name.
Let's talk about something that pissed off Brett.
Okay, so it annoyed me a little bit. Every day we have to read these articles where some celebrity is complaining about what some unnamed person from 20 years ago said to them. And I just wonder why anyone who writes these articles feels like it's in any way shocking anymore, because it's not.
Or that we should care. Like, it's very presumptuous to think that we should care about your stupid little sob story about something rude that was said to you on a film set 12 years ago.
And the other part that I thought was funny about this is, like, it's literally her winning an award. You are the bourgeoisie. You are the elites now.
Yeah.
And this is what it says. Sarah Snook says she was too young and naive to challenge producer who berated her for eating a slice of chocolate cake years ago. Women will just hold on to shit forever. They will never forget. Everything you've ever said has been categorized, collated, and stored away for later use against you, gentlemen.
Well, maybe this is what happens when, a woman of her age is not married. She doesn't have resentments built up against a husband. She has to resent everybody else. It says this 36-year-old Succession star said that she now takes on a totally different attitude. Quote, I eat whatever I want. It's my own body and my choice. But back then, she was trying to make her way in show business. She said the producer, who she will not name, who berated her for eating a piece of chocolate cake in front of cast and crew, later telling her, we don't really want you because you're a nobody, but the director and the writer think you're good for the role. And she won't name who this was.
I guess this is not.
She said,
this is not a sexual assault case where you're risking defamation. Just name the person.
She said, I was too young and naive. That's the unfortunate situation when a person is in a position of authority, taking advantage, mindlessly saying something that could be taken the wrong way or taken on in a certain context that holds with that person for the rest of their life. Because you were shamed for eating a piece of chocolate cake. All of that. Taking advantage. It's such strong language.
That's the issue I had with it.
To say it annoyed you a little bit is an understatement, though.
Yes,
like, you were pissed.
Well, look, we read these stories all the time, and I just wonder, like you mentioned the other day, like the men are just never gonna mention this stuff. They're just not.
They appear stoic. They appear like they have a backbone.
No one would care if a man complained about this stuff. But the sad fact of the matter is you shouldn't care whether men or women complain about this stuff, because these are the elite celebrities that look down on you anyways. This is absolutely ridiculous. Also, you're in a visual medium. If he's a producer, that means he's the one fronting the bill to get this made, which means his opinion matters, whether you like it or not.
For the record, this actress is overweight. Just saying.
Whether you like it or not, you're going to have interactions with your bosses that are not going to be great. Everyone has them. But the idea that one class of celebrity or human being has like more of a claim to this grievance than others is ridiculous and stupid.
You know, one time Tim shamed me for eating a piece of chocolate cake.
I hate it when he does that.
Like, if you are working for someone else, you should probably leave your ego at the door. Like, when I'm making when I'm writing all that remain songs, I get the final say. So I can go ahead and say, this is how it's going to be. This is not how it's going to be. When I do a feature for someone else, if someone else is like, and I've been paid to sing on other people's songs and stuff, when I go there, I do what they want. I sing the way they want me to sing, and they direct me. Unless they say, hey, Phil, we want you to do this because we like what you do. Otherwise, I do what they say. Like, I don't understand why other artists can't do that. Like, if you're the producer, then you have an idea for how the performance is going to be, fine. If you're not, if you're just an actor who's being paid and the director is telling you to do something, do what they say.
Also, well, a lot of these producers and directors and casting directors in Hollywood now, they don't even have the balls that they used to have decades past, where, you know, it's the same entitlement that Renee Rapp brought into Mean Girls, playing Regina George as an overweight woman. I am sure that any director or producer on that project, if they even, had the thought that she should lose some weight for the role, they would never dare say it in this day and age. Like, that is not part of the culture anymore. It is not acceptable, and she would have put them on blast. So there's also another example they added here from a Ted Lasso star, Hannah Waddingham. So this says she shares a drama teacher's insult that turned her into a TV star. The drama teacher once told her that she looks like one side of her face has had a stroke. And then there was another story from Claire Foy, who plays, I don't know what she plays, on The Crown on Netflix. She opened up about someone who gave her the worst note she has ever received from a director, telling her to start acting, darling.
That's so elitist too. That's even lamer. Anyways,
you can hear the British accent.
The other thing about this is like, I do think that we are long past the age where back in the day, like, this is the type of thing that I get it. Like, you want to complain to your friends, I guess. Like, I get it. You get it off your chest, right? But the idea was that, first of all, ego-wise, you hold these things and they drive you. And the idea of externalizing actually removes the power that you get from it. Like, you can grow from experiences like this because they make you work harder. But usually when you vocalize it and you put it into the ether, that actually takes away the power that it can have for you. Kind of in the same way when you get excited about doing a task, but then you talk about doing it and it deflates the idea of actually doing it, then just talking about it removes your motivation. You can use these types of things as fuel to get better at what you're doing. The problem is the culture doesn't want you to get better anymore. They want you to complain because you're supposed to be accepted perfectly all the time, just the way you were. There's also a lack of, like, look, the producer is fronting the money. He can afford to be unprofessional from time to time. You, the actor, who is constantly looking for work, constantly having to audition, constantly having to put yourself out there, that is an unenviable position to find yourself in, but it's part of the job, and it's why when you do it well, when you get a lot of work, you'll end up being paid handsomely for it if you're among the class that actually make it that far. Granted, most don't make it to that level within the industry, but every job has certain drawbacks. And there's just something about the fact that every day we have to read at least 2 articles like this from somebody who's complaining about something that's so minor. This isn't a sexual assault claim. This isn't somebody complaining that a producer took advantage of her. This is somebody said something mean to me on the playground one day, and now I'm going to use Deadline as a way to push myself up to the next rung in Hollywood by being a victim.
She's using the same language that an actual victim would be entitled to use.
Exactly.
She said that this man was taking advantage of her.
And she was too young and naive.
That is extremely loaded language, absolutely. And yeah, these days we're conditioned to think that, you know, whoever is criticizing us is jealous or they're insecure. And if you think that everyone who dislikes you is just jealous, you're a narcissist. And you're told that, you know, whenever your shortfalls are pointed out to you, it's actually not true because you're perfect just the way you are and there's no room for improvement.
Yeah.
And
Horrible.
even if someone is criticizing you on grounds that are totally bogus, there's no need to hold on to that for the rest of your life and then air it in the media for people to feel sorry for you. Like, have you never gone through actual adversity in your life?
Yeah.
That this is what stuck out to you as like some kind of formative trauma? It's insane.
It's also like, I'm going to read this $10 super chat here, even though it's out of order here because it's relevant. Yesterday on Joe Rogan's podcast, Bobby Lee brought up a director that said some crazy racist stuff, but wouldn't name them. Yet he was cool with saying Michael Bay grabbed his face and yelled a lot. There's also the Oppression Olympics that play a role here. And being a woman or being a minority would put you higher on the scale. So speaking about it will give you more credit. If this stuff happens to Jake Gyllenhaal or if it happens to like a white male actor, there's not going to be the sympathy for them. Nobody's going to care.
No.
Right? Like nobody's going to give a crap. Nor should they. They shouldn't give a crap either way about your complaints. Right?
Yes.
You have a job. Do your job.
Oh, and of course, in the same interview, Deadline asked Sarah Snook for her personal opinion on these Oscars snubs toward Barbie. And she said, "I was so proud of Margot Robbie when I saw the film. It was my first outing as a new mom. I was away from my daughter for 3 hours and spent the entire time just crying, and not just because of the hormones. I'm disappointed for her, but proud as a fellow Aussie."
I eat whatever I want. It's my own body. It's my own choice. You are in a visual medium. You do not always get to eat exactly what you want.
That's the thing that's frustrating. It's I'm going to eat what I want, and then if I don't get the jobs that I want, it's someone else's fault, and everyone should feel bad for me. It's such
Also,
a frustrating perspective to have.
No one should eat whatever they want. If everyone ate whatever they wanted to eat at any time that they wanted to eat it, we would all be 400 pounds.
Take a cue from the men in Hollywood who get superhero roles, who then go on these extreme diets, get on the HGH and the TRT, and immediately start insane workout regimes because it's their job. One of the things that I find funny is they always have these arguments where Zach from Comics Matter made a post about like Kumail Nanjiani got into super good shape to be in the Eternals, and he's like, this dweeby looking dude got into really good shape. What's your excuse? And everyone's saying like, well, it's his job, so it's easier for him. Yes, exactly. It's his job. He was given a role. Those roles have certain requirements. You as a man need to put on X amount of muscle. I think Alan Richardson said it was like 10 or 20 pounds of muscle or something like that to play Reacher, right? And they don't complain. They see it as a challenge. But if you were to ask a woman, we need you to be this size to play this role, it would never be accepted to do that anymore.
I don't
It just
know.
wouldn't.
I hear Ozempic calling. Ozempic.
Oh, now do you know who the most recent person is to have to deny Ozempic rumors?
Who?
50 Cent. Oh yeah, 50 Cent's like, I don't take Ozempic.
Has he gone through some dramatic weight
He's
loss
lost a
recently?
lot of weight recently. I never really thought of him as fat though. He was always just muscular.
I thought he was like a lifter. Was he a heavy guy?
He's a pretty big dude.
Because if you look at Busta Rhymes, you might mistake for fat if he's wearing like a big shirt, but that man has got a lot of muscle on him. He's a big boy.
Yeah. So you see this type of stuff, and I just wonder who is this for? Who is this for? You're not ingratiating yourself to the general.
Self-involved crybabies.
You're not Well, that's the problem, though. These are the people that think of themselves as the everyday person. They don't realize that they are
laughable.
not. They are the elites, that they are the ivory tower, which I find particularly hilarious and lacking a distinct amount of self-awareness,
Yeah.
I guess. So
Let's go to Super Chats.
all right, guys, let's finish them up.
Jacob Edler said, my crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's because Elohim is my blank.
Yes.
Lil Shapiro. Is there like Jewish rap? Is that a thing?
I have no idea. Let's get a fourth crisis party, guys.
The Undertaker said, AI deepfake a Phil and Army Hammer when?
Let's not.
Hopefully never.
Hopefully not.
Hiroshima Otaru said they do AI spice of everyone, not just the modest.
Yes, but the modest ones are the ones who get the attention.
They're the ones that, have more demand around them. Corey Anderson said, I feel like AI corn falls under 1A. Can't stop someone from drawing or painting these images.
Yeah. One of my favorite tropes from television shows is when like any cop show has like an art, like they have like a sketch artist who works for the department who's always a nerd and gets made fun of, and then someday their sketchbook will get out and the female cop will be drawn into like a superhero with like oversized proportions, and then they have to look comically annoyed or upset.
I am not a free speech absolutist personally, and there have always been obscenity laws in this country that, obscenity did not fall under free speech and free expression. And also, it's not art. I don't consider AI generated images to be art. And it also breaks Twitter TOS, which doesn't have to abide by the Constitution anyway.
Somebody mentions the Beastie Boys are Jewish rap.
Yeah, technically they are.
Technically, but it's
And
not
they're
about
awesome.
it's not about them being Jewish.
And Modest Yahoo is Jewish Reagan.
Weren't there I think I saw a headline recently about how West Virginia lawmakers are talking about passing obscenity laws in the state.
What state?
In West Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah. Olivia Clare said, I like Taylor Swift quite a bit, but she does sexualize herself. The way she performs is sexual. She's not modest. She isn't a total victim. Yeah, I mean, sexual by Taylor Swift standards, but not by modernity standards.
What we should do is have her do a concert side by side with Cardi B. And then you
Yeah,
can decide which one is the more sexual.
Not really on the same level. Papa Piker said digitally uploaded people are called stimulacrum.
Ah, I didn't know that had a name.
The
also,
Undertaker?
is Papa Piker, is that Hassan Piker's father?
The Undertaker said, what a brave new world we live in, that Swift can wear a dress which barely covers her bum on stage and then be hailed as modest. Stop gaslighting us.
She doesn't wear dresses. She wears like the lycra.
They're bodysuits that you wear
Yeah, and she's got
when you're
tights on
dancing and
underneath it.
stuff.
So again, it might be form-fitting, but she's not wearing like exposing
No, I
a lot
wouldn't
of
call it like modest by the standards of Christian modesty.
not
I'm
at
calling
all.
it modest in comparison to Cardi B.
She also, like, those outfits are, that's actually more for movement than anything else. Like, the way, the things that they wear. It's very similar to what female professional wrestlers wear.
I don't think they look very good. I called them granny swimsuits. I don't like them. Corey Anderson said, Phil, when did you realize you had a good singing voice? And what is one song you wish you had written?
I wish that All That Remains wrote Blinded by Fear by At the Gates. That song's awesome. And then I don't know. I mean, for me, my voice has always felt like a work in progress. So I don't think that I feel like it's ever like I have a good singing voice. I have a singing voice that can do the things that I ask it to do, but I always feel like I'm trying to set the bar higher. So I don't know that I ever feel like I have a good singing voice. Screaming when I was like in my 20s, I was like, oh yeah, I got this stuff down. This is easy.
Unusable Alpaca said, Denise Richards in The World Is Not Enough.
Yes, she is Dr. Christmas Jones in The World Is Not Enough. The world's hottest nuclear physicist.
Terminally hot.
Corey Anderson said, have you heard the song Skibidi by Little Big? I don't think it's related to the segment.
I have not.
No, I have not. Serenko Productions said you should show the original Skibidi videos.
I wonder if we get copyrighted.
I hope not.
You never know.
The DJ Foy said kids raised on Gary's mod making content now.
Seems that way.
Well, but the guy behind the channel is an adult, right? I hope so.
Maybe he's got a kid that gives him the ideas.
Jacob Edler said the issue is that Gen Z doesn't understand irreverence. Skibidi Toilet is giving early 2000s. Salad Fingers, Homestar Runner. I have hope for our youth.
I mean, wasn't animation pretty freeform in the early days of YouTube? People loved early YouTube animation.
Yeah, like Gen Z included in that.
Yeah.
I watched Salad Fingers and like Charlie the Unicorn and stuff like that.
One of my favorite videos is there's a song by Weird Al called The Night Santa Went Crazy, and it's basically Santa turns into a rampant, like a serial killer, like a school shooter basically, and kills everyone in the North Pole. And the whole video is just a computer animation of him doing all of the evil things.
And you love it.
And I love it.
Sorenko Productions said, for the record, as a Gen Z, I do not like Skibidi Toilet.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't appeal to me personally, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Terrence Rice said every gen had their weird, degenerate nonsense. People need to relax. My 9-year-old son and I will watch these when a new one drops. He's doing A-okay, but...
I don't know what that YMMV...
I don't know. YMMV. Better than Marvel Disney garbage.
Yeah, well...
I think it is, actually. I think it's better than watching Disney and Marvel content.
I would agree on, at least on the new Marvel content, I would agree.
Shane H. Wilder said Skibidi Toilet seems like a bad acid trip, although when they said kids were acting it out, I thought kids were trying to hop into toilets.
I mean, all the ways
they might be.
One of the ways that they were all of the ways they were describing kids as acting out were just kids acting out. It had nothing to do, like, that's just every generation has kids that act out in that way. Plenty of kids in past generations didn't want their toys taken away from them.
These days, I think an iPad is nothing like a normal toy.
No, God, no.
I think that this is sort of therapy speak, but, there's attachment theory, and children are raised, they form primary attachments to their caregivers, and if you maybe are being raised by a single parent and you have an iPad as your other parent, you have a primary attachment to a screen.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they have these crazy meltdowns when it's taken away from them. What it sounds like is just a kid who needs to have limited screen time or no screen time. Like, they need to go to screen time rehab. Spencer Jones said, I have twin 2-year-olds. The only screen time they get is FaceTime with family.
There you go.
That's nice. Papa Piker said, millennials and Zoomers complaining about Skibidi syndrome have never been around toddlers. My sister watched her Shrek DVD nonstop and sung all the songs. Yeah, I mean, kids are going to act out and imitate whatever they watch. Ben Tomsky said, back in my day, our crazy vids were about badgers, mushrooms, llamas, and ducks, but we knew it was crap. We didn't start acting like one.
Mileage may vary on that.
Yeah.
Like, we always fall into the trap of, like, just because I didn't doesn't mean that somebody else didn't.
I mean, I definitely imitated Charlie the Unicorn.
Kids make believe they're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
What's the meme?
But you don't tell them, yes, you're a dinosaur.
Exactly.
What is the one where it's like a 4-year-old boy, a boy turns 4 and his whole life depends on, it's like a fireman, a dinosaur, or it's like
or a truck.
Or a truck, yeah.
Yeah.
This becomes their whole personality.
Bucky Ducky said, as a part of Gen Z, there are lots of memes I don't get. So many are just funny because random, like beans, and I don't get why that one is funny to me. Oh. Beans? Is that a meme? Maybe I'm more out of touch than I thought.
Is he talking? They might be talking about baked beans, which baked beans is kind of a meme.
He's eating baked beans in the movie theater.
Yeah, having baked beans.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of memes, right? Information shorthand. So sometimes it makes sense to you and you don't even know necessarily why it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This boop is eating beans. That one. Shadow Zero said, hey Phil, have or can you listen to Neon Tide by Boy What and give your quick thoughts?
I have not.
Well, he can't listen to it right now.
Yes.
But Corey Anderson said, I watch ingrown toenail removal shorts.
Oof. Oh. E.
That's just nasty.
Oof.
Bucky Ducky said, Mary not watching shorts, massive cap, stop lying.
You don't watch shorts?
I just don't click on them.
Don't click on them?
Like maybe once in a blue moon, but I really don't like.
I was conditioned into it through Instagram though. Like way more through Instagram.
On TikTok, when I'm on Instagram, I don't even click the Reels tab. And when I was on TikTok, I used it 90% of the time just to post things.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't scroll the For You page because it was like boring to me.
I love finding comedy content and skits on Instagram. I find that as much as we complain about censorship and how watered down everything is, there's something I find really wholesome about people being able to create their own content in their home with nothing but a phone and some lights. I enjoy that.
Bucky Ducky said... Corey Anderson said, outside of Timcast content, I watched the British History Show timeline on YouTube. Can't get enough of ancient British and Roman history. That's nice. Educational content. Shane H. Wilder said, I always fall into watching technology connection videos like the invention of electronic television and why the color brown doesn't really exist. We were talking about that yesterday. The art installation that was 3 piles of dirt, but they were all slightly different shades of brown to show that everything is subjective and maybe the color brown doesn't exist.
I did just watch this
stupid, I know,
small short the other day about the ongoing debate about the Mandela effect and how I guess that lady who supposedly found a Fruit of the Loom shirt with a cornucopia on it was proven fake. I guess it wasn't real.
How did she fake the cornucopia?
Might have made it herself. You can screen print that logo yourself, or you could do it in Photoshop. But the point is like it's the war on reality that people are all having, and people were having it about other things like Febreze with 2 E's rather than 1 E. There's all sorts of them.
It's only 1 E.
It's only 1 E.
That's crazy.
And there's in obviously the biggest one being Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain Bears. Oddly enough, that one never got me. It always was Berenstain Bears. But I said it as Berenstain, but always knew that it was spelled that way. So that one never made any sense to me. But the Fruit of the Loom one definitely got me. I definitely thought that there was a cornucopia on the logo.
I got fooled by the chartreuse one.
What was that one?
People always thought that chartreuse was pink, but it's actually lime green.
Okay.
Like, what the hell? I thought that chartreuse was pink.
There's a lot of those.
The Undertaker said, I am also almost 50, Phil, but I would get home after a graveyard shift and pour a bowl of cereal, sit down and watch Gargoyles before going to bed.
Oh, Gargoyles. Good stuff.
Philip Reed said it was all made in...
Oh, that was the $20 one.
Nate said, what if the OF model sells you a house she shot scenes in?
Wait, did we read the Philip Reed? Did we read the Philip Reed one? I just want to make sure that we did?
We did.
Okay. Just want to make sure we don't miss one.
Yeah, I would not buy a porn set house. No thanks. Organized Business Services said Ben Shapiro is 100% nerd, anything for money, right, Ben?
I don't get it.
What, his heart isn't in the rap game? Is that what you're telling me? I'm shocked.
Do you think he's going to make a lot of money off of this song compared to what he makes off the Daily Wire?
I mean, if anything, he might be paying Tom McDonald for the feature.
I love it. I love that idea that he's always wanted to be on a track and nobody else will have him on, so he's got to do that. Yeah, and I don't know, like, what do you mean by nerd for anything? Because, like, look, I actually like watching Ben Shapiro's movie reviews, because they're so steeped in his politics, but he also has like a pretty good memory. Like, I enjoyed most of his, like, his review of the Batman and other stuff. But
I really didn't like his review of Barbie because it was just...
I didn't watch it. When I saw the length of it, I'm like, nope.
It was 40 minutes long and most of it was him doing a synopsis.
Yep.
And just like making faces at the camera. The Last of My Kind said Stallone, Jackie Chan, Cameron Diaz all did Korn first.
I did not know about Cameron Diaz, though I think I might have heard of it before, but I did know.
She did adult films?
I guess.
Like actual adult films?
I did know that Stallone and Jackie Chan did. Or
I knew Stallone did.
Yep.
I didn't know
that. The Italian stallion himself.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yoshima Otaru said Ariana Grande and Elizabeth Olsen are top 5 deepfaked.
Wow. I mean, the Ariana Grande one is sus. And
why?
Because she was always portraying herself as younger, so you should probably...
I
disagree.
should
check I know you disagree with that.
I don't think that Ariana Grande was trying to portray herself as younger.
Okay, whether she was trying to or not, she looked young.
She looked young. She looked like a 15-year-old girl who was trying to look older.
Then let me rephrase. that I still think that's sus of the people who are looking at it.
I guess. Taxi Flatty said, Mary, the West Virginia obscenity bill is the library bill Scanner wrote about. Was there something you were confused about? Hannah Claire wrote about it. I didn't read the article, so that's what I was confused about, I guess. The Undertaker said, I had quite a bit of screen time as a kid. Sure, it was an Etch-a-Sketch, but the Wi-Fi was a little hard to find in 1983.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Etch-a-Sketch.
Some of my
and
other
Light
favorite,
Bright. Did you play with Light Bright, or is that just me?
I had a Light Bright.
Yeah.
One of my other favorite genre of memes lately has been all of the different ways to describe how you ruined your parents' computer using LimeWire back in the early 2000s.
I can't relate to that.
Yes.
Never did that.
Did you have an Easy Bake Oven? No.
My sister did.
I think that's a guy-girl thing.
Okay, that was just me then.
I think that's a gendered thing there.
You had an Easy Bake Oven?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Now,
All of the food was awful, obviously.
are you not allowed to do that anymore? Is it misogynistic and patriarchal to give a woman an Easy Bake Oven?
You have to give your sons the Easy Bake Oven, apparently.
What do you give the woman?
You have to force her to play with
Battleship?
trucks.
She has to play Battleship?
And toy soldiers or something. Left-handed Link said the answer is Batman the Animated Series, Brett. Any other response would be blasphemy.
That was the answer I gave.
Yes.
So
you
yes,
passed the test.
apparently.
Bucky Ducky said, me and the boys at 3 a.m. looking for beans.
My other favorite genre is the guys who make these videos that are it's like POV. You steal a loaf of bread in Gotham City, and it's a guy walking out of a thing and just gets his ass kicked by Batman. And it's fun because they're easy to make because the costumes look not great, but they're fine. But then all it is like, Batman appears, and then it becomes like a first person where Batman's punching the camera and beating it up because it looks like the person's actually getting their ass kicked. I love those videos. My new favorite one is like a guy like leaves a Walmart and Batman chases her down, and then who was the lady who did like the sign off on Walmart where she was like retiring as if she was a cop retiring? Gail. So then Batman chases down the car and Gail appears behind him and helps.
Okay.
Incredible.
This next one from Shane H. Wilder, I definitely can't pronounce that. Do you know how to pronounce that?
Leopleurodon? I don't know.
It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie, a magical Leopleurodon. It's gonna guide our way to Candy Mountain.
Don't know the reference.
This is a Charlie the Unicorn reference. But it's been so long since I watched Charlie the Unicorn that I don't get it. Infernal Saxon said VTubers are the new PNG tubers.
I've never watched a single VTuber.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I hear them referenced, or I see them referenced on like Dick Serto articles, and that's it.
I have a feeling that a lot of them are male. Bucky Ducky said, well, technically, Mary, the color brown doesn't exist. It's just dark orange. Technology Connections has a great video on it. Watch it. Okay. I would rather live the lie that brown is a real color, but thank you for the suggestion. Gordon Shumway said, new Mandela effect I just found out. Mr. T nevertheless said, I pity the fool on the A-Team.
Yeah, it's the quote is different.
Well, the Luke, I am your father line also was a Mandela effect.
Yeah. It says, today I learned Mr. T never said I pity the fool in any of the 98 episodes of the A-Team. They're saying, no, he said it in the Rocky movies.
Yeah, he might not have said it in the A-Team, but he definitely said it in other venues or in other at other times.
Shane H. Wilder said guys had queasy bake ovens. Look it up.
That can't be a real thing.
Well, I just looked it up.
Wasn't there one?
And it's called the Queasy Bake Cookerator.
Well, there was also one that were like for guys where it made like gummy worms and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Is that what that is?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like gross, I guess, but I don't know, you make.
But you're boys, so you like gross things. That makes sense.
Okay. Are there any more super chats, or is it
the Undertaker says teaching your kids to cook should be understood as part of the parent's job. The more kids you have, the closer you get to a kitchen production line. There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Life hack.
There you go. Perfect. Shane H. Wilder says, no, I didn't have one. I just know it exists.
I'm gonna get an Easy Bake Oven again, and Heelys, and a Light Bright.
You could probably find them. I still have soap shoes, the shoes that you grind on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Still have. A company remade them a couple years ago. I made sure to get a pair.
And the Reeboks with the
pumps. Yeah.
The pumps.
I never wear them, but I have them just to have them.
It's just crazy to me that it literally does nothing.
Disco Jensen says, missed my $20 super chat. Did we miss a $20 one from Disco Jensen? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
Yeah. Yep. He says, I swear mandatory military service can't come soon enough. Get a whole generation disciplined, in shape, and patriotic.
They do that in South Korea. They even make the BTS dudes join the military.
In Israel as well.
I mean, I don't know if South Korea is known for having super masculine men, though.
Sorry about that, Disco.
So.
It could be a good idea.
And one more here from Hiroshima Utaru says, boys had creepy crawlers in Dr. Dreadful. Creepy crawlers, that's what I remember. That's the name of it.
What's Dr. Dreadful?
I don't know what Dr. Dreadful is, but I'm assuming it's in the same vein as that. All right, guys. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, and would you please subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Help us get to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Phil, my friend, thank you.
You're quite welcome. I am Phil That Remains on Twix. I am Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can follow us on, let's see, what is it? Amazon Music, Pandora, what's the other one? Spotify. There's the YouTube, all over the internet, you know? Also, the left lane is for crime.
Perfect.
You can send me validation on Instagram at MaryArchived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also MaryArchived.
One more here from Shane H. Wilder says, would easy bake ovens work with modern light bulbs?
I didn't think of that. Oh no, maybe they're not climate friendly.
There you go.
All the more reason to get one.
Well, no, what they'll do is they'll make a WEF version where it makes bugs.
Oh.
Yep, they're gonna make you'll eat the bugs. All right, guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you prefer to listen rather than watch. If you'd like to follow the show on social media, we're on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. One more here from the Undertaker says, Mr. Dreadful Food Lab.
Dr.
You could, what did I say, Mr. Dreadful? Yeah. Same thing. Dr. Dreadful, yeah, he'll be mad that I didn't give him his official title. Dr. Dreadful Food Lab. You could make twisted creatures, or creations, excuse me, just fun for kids. Just good fun for kids. Hard when it's scrolling up like that. All right, guys. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Post-credit scene here from The Undertaker says, you seem to be in a hurry. Have this. And one more here from Gordon Shumway says, the Korean ROK, I'm assuming that's their army, is crazy. We would see them doing PT in the snow with short sleeves and beat their soldiers.
That's hardcore.
Yep. Eves would beat their soldiers. That's crazy. All right, guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.